Well, get out your popcorn there, Mr. Bradford, because there's supposedly a fire happening over at Tesla, and
The Tesla AI headquarters, right?
the AI headquarters says that V13 is fire.
Fire. Ashok Elaswamy
Yes, he
was
seems
fire.
he seems to believe that he's got something important that he's going to be releasing. He didn't say when.
Hmm.
Tomorrow is Thanksgiving. They promised it by Thanksgiving.
It'd be pretty epic if it at least started to roll out.
On
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving Day.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I think that.
They in yesterday was it they released all these videos where they put Teslas in impossible situations, cars bursting out of nowhere to threaten this version 13 car, and the version 13 car reacts perfectly to it.
Yeah.
Um, hit and
16.
stop cars, and the lead car dodges out of the way, and the Tesla just kind of like chill goes around it. Is like really good to see.
Yeah, they had like
And
16 or
like,
something
yeah,
different.
crazy scenario where this car, the ego car is at high speed, and a car just like pulls out of nowhere, and it stops. Yeah, it was pretty crazy to see all those videos.
Yeah, yeah.
They're feeling confident.
Feeling confident. All right. Okay. Well, so the part that's important about FSD 13 and or the next FSD is, of course, is the unsupervised part. That's what we're really looking forward to. And of course, the opportunity to go to full-on robotaxi. You've pushed a couple of interesting pieces about Waymo on your X account over the last couple of days. And one of those had to do with the cost of Lidar coming down to $500 per unit, making it only about $30,000 per car. That makes the Waymo hardware piece way more competitive. So what did you think about all that? This article that I forget the gal's name who put the article up.
Yeah, I had heard about it a couple months ago. I didn't really believe it. I guess I should have checked on it. That the cost of LiDAR was like below 500 a unit or down to 500 per unit. And it was a researcher with Altimeter Capital,
Oh, okay.
Brad Gerstner, and they were talking about Waymo and some things. And yeah, I was surprised to see in that report they show that LiDAR had come down that far. So I I think we all knew that Wright's law doesn't just apply to Tesla. It doesn't just
Right.
apply to Elon Musk. So when you have scale production of a product, the cost comes down over time, and it has for LiDAR.
Yeah, so that makes them somewhat more competitive. Now, I am not terribly concerned about competition because of all the advantages that Tesla has, like, oh, having 6 or 7 million vehicles already on the road that are
Yeah.
equipped and ready to go. That's certainly a big advantage. The manufacturing advantage and lots of other advantages. But at the end of the day, I think all of us would be happy if Tesla got 20% of the robotaxi business. Because apparently the robotaxi business is going to be in the multiple trillions of dollars of revenue.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah. Waymo under Google does have um, some facets to it that Tesla also has. So, they may have access to a lot of compute. So Google
right.
has that. Don't know how much they're working with Waymo on that. You're right that Google doesn't have much manufacturing experience as far as making cars.
Right.
So they would be more dependent on putting it into other cars, and not something they make themselves.
Yeah, and also true for the Chinese who are apparently Baidu apparently right now is going to be relying more on Kia or on Hyundai, whichever, basically the same company. So they've got to buy it, which means they're going to be paying the profit on it, where Tesla can put it out at the ones that they put in their own fleet. Obviously, they would have a huge advantage over anybody that has to buy a vehicle.
Mm.
So then to add interest to the whole robotaxi thing, just in before we started tonight, is that Tesla is now offering end of lease buyout for the first time ever.
Wow.
Ooh, I scooped you on that one, huh?
Wow.
Oh, yeah, not only are they offering end of lease buyout going forward, they're making it retroactive. So if you're in the middle of a lease right now, it'll apply to you as well. You just have to send an email over to Tesla and they'll send you back an offer for your end of lease buyout on the car you're already driving. So,
Wow.
so this is pretty impressive. Now, Elon had always said he didn't have end of lease buyouts because he wanted to bring all those babies back into the Tesla fleet when robotaxi became a thing. So, what do you think has changed in that situation?
Well, I think Tesla will need capital as they grow the robotaxi fleet. Yes, robotaxis initially will be very profitable, we believe. Um, but they can't just own all the robotaxis they want right away. Because you have that upfront cost and you need like at least a year, if not two, to pay for the robotaxi, maybe just 1 year
You're probably, yeah.
initially. Um, so I think that's what's constraining it. And the whole lease thing does put off a lot of lease buyers,
Yes, it does. Yeah.
people who use the lease. Now, I'm skeptical, like allegedly more than a third of people who use leasing do buy the car at the end
Mhm,
of the lease.
mhm.
I wasn't aware of that. So the typical practice I had heard of was people just using that 3 month thing to flip to a new car,
Right, right.
and they keep flipping to a new car. So I didn't know that was such a big thing with lease buyers, that people actually really do value that option to buy.
Hmm, hmm. Yeah, so that was surprising. So my first impression was, well, now that they have a cyber cab, that's what they're going to want to put out there. They're not going to be that interested in these old-fashioned vehicles that have steering wheels and pedals in them. And so they're going to be emphasizing the cyber cabs in their own fleet.
Hmm.
Moreover, they have lots of available capacity right now, so they could just put brand new cars out there, which might be actually somewhat advantageous in terms of this the cyber the yeah the overall business, the robotaxi business. It might be better for Tesla to put out new cars.
Hmm.
Anyway, those are a couple of thoughts that came to mind, but then
Well,
yeah,
what also comes to my mind along those lines is, yeah, maybe you want it to be clear when you're in a cyber cab, you're in a Tesla owned car.
yeah, yeah.
When you're in something else, it may be owned by some random person or entrepreneur
Right,
or
right.
Hertz or whoever.
Yeah, that's a possibility. Now, there was in addition to all the things we've already talked about, there was another tweet that came, or I'm sorry, a post on X, an X post that came out because everybody's now trying to decide what you should call these things, of course. I think X post, I like that because, it's got that Latin
Mhm.
legal connotation.
Yeah,
So
you think of like after, X post.
So anyway, but there was another post that came out a little while ago, and it said, "Well, if you are buying your Cybertruck and you put it on a lease, you get that for $9.99 a month. And when you buy it out at the end, the $7,500 applies somehow. I don't know how that is, but that's what they said.
Oh, okay.
So maybe it applies in the drawdown of the original price, or I don't know. I don't know how that works, but
Mhm.
it was a post apparently from Tesla. So
Wow.
because right now there's some confusion about whether the $750 is applicable or not, and this takes away the confusion. which might allow them to sell a few more of these $80,000 or $78,000 now trucks.
Mhm.
So that's another possibility. Anyway, lots and lots of
And yeah, Randy's speaking to the referral discount,
right. Yes.
which definitely got beefed up quite a bit. So it's
Yes.
$2,000 to the buyer and $1,000 to the referrer. Yeah.
Since I've never bothered to get my referral number, if you wish to get a car and you want a referral number, go see Bradford. I'm sure he'll be happy to give you his
We
referral.
figure it out right now.
Okay,
I
figure it out right
the
now.
code here.
All right. So I think that there's a possibility that you have a different take than other people. Maybe, I'm not sure. Maybe it's the same take, but we'll talk about it on the fight to the death between Elon Musk and our illustrious California governor, Mr. Newsom. So what do you think about that ongoing battle between the Titans, as it's been called? I don't even think that that's a fair characterization, because I don't think Newsom's a Titan at all. But anyway, what do you think?
Yeah, it's concerning because California is one of the largest markets for Teslas in the world.
Oh, it's one of the largest markets in the
Yeah.
world, fifth largest country in the world.
Yeah. I think it still accounts for over a third of Tesla sales in the US.
Oh, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
I could be wrong by that. In 2019, I believe it was half of Tesla sales was in California, or half of EV sales in the United States were in California.
I think right now it's close to half of all the cars that are on the road. The registered cars are in California.
Wow.
Yeah.
EVs are just all
1.4 million of the Teslas, 1.4 million Teslas in California
wow.
registered. Yeah.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah, so it's concerning to me, and what's concerning is California is usually a leader with legislation at times. So I wonder if like Colorado is going to follow suit, and I'm also concerned that this won't be the last thing that Gavin Newsom tries to do. So what this goes back to is during the health crisis, Tesla was an essential business. So all car makers were nationwide.
Right.
And so federally, there was essential business laws. Statewide, there were essential business laws, and California said that they respected essential businesses, and essential businesses could continue to operate.
Right.
But Gavin Newsom allowed a local official in Alameda County to shut down the Fremont factory. He said he was going to respect, whatever the local officials wanted to do. So, the local official wanted to bully Tesla, and Gavin Newsom didn't stand up for Tesla, didn't defend Tesla, and allowed them to be shut down.
Yeah, we remember it well.
It may have been the only
Essential business.
car plant in the United States that was shut down.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's bad. So it's crazy to me that Tesla is such a big employer in California, and they're singling out Tesla by saying, okay, this tax incentive in Tesla, this tax incentive in California, we're going to exclude Tesla from that and only do it for other car makers.
Yeah, yeah.
But come robotaxi, maybe this doesn't matter.
It may not matter. Well, none of it's going to matter come robotaxi.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my thoughts were, number one, I think there are going to be people in the legislature whose oxes are going to be gored. There's going to be assemblymen, and we call them assemblymen in California, and senators in California who have their district with employees of that plant in Fremont and elsewhere. SpaceX also. Not to mention, I think Neuralink, isn't Neuralink in California also? No, they have California and Texas,
Yeah.
and also the big plant in the one you visited, the
Lathrop Megafactory,
Megafactory. Yes,
campus in Lathrop. They have all the
employees
parts and
all over the
shipping
state of
and
California.
logistics. Yeah.
So, Elon could pick up and move any of that stuff I mean, the plant in Fremont is not as productive as it could be if he built a new plant.
Mhm.
The Lathrop facility was an old, an old warehouse. It's not that hard to just pick up and leave. So I think that would impact the decision by the legislature to back him up on such a plan. Number two, the way he's designed it, he said it would only be for these companies that don't have very many unit sales so far, to help them to get up to speed. This is his justification for not having Tesla in the package. Well, if that's true, then he's talking about companies that don't have many sales, so probably not going to impact Tesla that much. So I don't know. I wasn't.
But effectively, it kind of lowers the price of the Tesla by, I don't know, $3,000 or $4,000.
Yeah,
Whatever that California state incentive is going to be.
right.
It lowers it. It
Lowers
raises
the
the
other costs.
price.
Yeah.
Lowers the other ones.
Oh, he also said he's only going to do it if the national one goes away. He wasn't going to add it on. So then that becomes the other issue, is whether the IRA, the $7,500, ever goes away. And maybe you and I talked about that last week. I know Larry and some others we've talked about. I don't think if it goes away, it doesn't go away till January of 26. So that's another, reason why I don't think it's really going to impact Tesla very much. But Gavin Newsom wants to be president. He's the worst governor the state of California's ever had. So I don't know how he thinks he's going to be president, but that's okay. We'll see what happens. Musk has commented. I've had this conversation a couple of times this week. I want to have it again with you. Musk has commented multiple times on drones, talking about how they are the future of warfare. He talked about it again a couple of times this week, tweeted about it, or posted on X about it today. To the extent that Lockheed Martin's shares dropped, they make the F-35, and he said that's old news now. The F-35 is a relic. The drones are the future, and hypersonic missiles and automated vehicles would be another thing. So three things that Tesla two things that Tesla already makes, which are hypersonic rockets.
SpaceX, yeah.
SpaceX and automated vehicles, he believes are the future of warfare. I agree with him on the drone part, 100%. I think it's absolutely the future of warfare. So my question is Tesla going to get into the drone business?
I don't think so necessarily. There's a company called Anduril that's run by Palmer Luckey, who he was the one who came up with Oculus, the VR headset.
Oh, yeah.
That Facebook bought that, and then there's all this drama with that. Anduril, they have basically jet-powered drones. I think there'll be like tech type startups that work on drones. The war in Ukraine has shown that the real effectiveness of drones.
Right.
It's pretty crazy how much drones are being used in the war in Ukraine. It's a real nasty business. So just like small drones will deliver an artillery round or a grenade, right at a soldier or their vehicle or their van or whatever they're in.
Ships
Yeah.
at sea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And airplanes get shot down with pilots in them.
Right.
And I think even Russian pilots, it's much more than $1 million to develop a pilot. I believe it's well over 4 years.
Wow.
It's close. I think it could be closer to $5 million
Wow.
to um, get get a pilot trained and certified. And it's a tremendous human capital loss and investment when you
Yeah.
lose it. So, and also, what's happening with um, the Suez Canal and the Yemen
Yeah.
strikes on U.S. Naval systems or on the huge ships in the Suez Canal. Um, I think they're trying to defend against like drones that are worth maybe $20,000 or something, and they're using missiles that
Right.
cost like t over $10 million each. So like this asymmetric spend to defend is, it's not working. It's not going to work long term. And like all these cheap Iranian drones are being made and used in the war
Yeah.
in Ukraine, but
Yeah.
it's going to be used elsewhere. I do agree that it's going to be drone warfare and anti-drone defense, and um, long range missiles are certainly important too, and defense against those.
So my theory on Elon would be number one is that it appears to be something that's on his mind really big time. Number
Mm.
two, I think it would be fun for him. And I know he often does things because it's fun. Number three, I think he might feel that it would be an important contribution. But number four, you and I both know he would make them cheaper, faster, sooner. I don't care how good this other guy is. We know that Elon is the best in the world at building a factory and getting product out on this, getting product out of that factory in large quantities at low price. Well, then to me, I haven't done a lot of study of World War II, but I know that that was a big piece of why we won World War II is because the U.S. industrial complex was able to produce bajillion, however many thousands and thousands of tanks and airplanes, and the Germans couldn't keep up, and there you go. So if we're able to produce, I would think probably on the order of millions of drones, and nobody else could catch up, especially if they were very low cost, that would all of a sudden give the Houthis and the Middle Easterners and the Russians and the Chinese over Taiwan, something to really think about.
Yeah, especially developing drone defense and missile defense. I think, scaling that is really important. If you could, if there could be a global technology against drones and against missiles, I think that would be great for peace. Hopefully it wouldn't make war worse, but
Yeah, well, you get back to that, that position where okay, all we're going to be doing is running our drones into each other.
yeah.
That's no fun. Uh, so I don't be like the standoff with the
I'm
nuclear.
just not sure Elon's going to be interested in offensive robots.
Yeah, yeah.
But maybe he'll see it as a necessity.
Yeah. Anyway, it's just a thought. I thought I would play around with it this week with all of you guys, all my co-hosts, and see what different people thought about the subject. Larry thought absolutely not. Well, I didn't say absolutely not. And Jeff thought, well, he's kind of with you. He was kind of, yeah, well, it's not impossible. Anything's possible. Anyway, let's see. What else have I got on my list here? I've got oh, that was it. That's all I got on my list. Have you got anything? Oh, well, we had the stock market craziness this week.
Mhm.
Any thoughts on where we head off after this wild Thanksgiving week where things went up and down and all around? Are we going to settle down into a range now on Tesla, the 230, I'm sorry, 330 to 365? Is that, I think you thought earlier that that might have a little buildup before we go forward.
Yeah, so it's unusual that a company would have a sentimental peak and then like just kind of hang out at that peak for a number of weeks. So I think we're on like week three, kind of at this level now. Um, so I think there's support around this level. Like there's staying power. So it's possible, absent any other bad news, that Tesla will hang in there, and this could be like the next starting off point for the stock in the future.
So if version 13 starts getting like absolutely stellar reports on YouTube, will that be the impetus that it needs to move to the next level?
It certainly help among bulls, and as we know, retail Tesla bulls own 45% of the stock.
Right.
It's a huge amount. It's much higher than any other company as big as Tesla, by at least a full 10 percentage points. Um, and yeah, that's a really big deal. And bulls on Tesla generally are very informed on what's happening. So I could see that potentially happen.
So there's this funny thing going on. I remind me, you and I might have already talked about this, but we know that Cathie Wood's just selling and selling and selling and selling. And she's got, she's staying at 14% because the price is going up. And so
Mhm.
she sells and she's 14% is way higher than she wants to be. So I was trying, in my mind, I'm extrapolating to maybe a group of people that might be saying the same thing, like, well, this is pretty good here. This is sad. I have a satisfying gain. I can keep a very large position in the stock, and still sell some off and put it to work someplace else that I think might be fun, like a lemonade or something. So do you think there's a lot of folks in that position that are just like it gets up there around 265 and they're like, well, why not? Why not take a little off?
Uh,
A
where if
three,
it gets if
365.
365, yeah, we're getting used to saying the new number, aren't we?
Yeah.
I was saying this with Matt recently. It's like I'm not used to saying 300. I'm used to saying 200 something. Yeah. Um, yeah, I do think there's some people who are a little more conservative around investing, who aren't all in, or they um, just might get nervous at times. Tesla does have they they got some execution risks. They got to figure out autonomy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like that's a huge problem, and we don't know when it'll be. My throat's dry. Um, I think there's a good chance it'll be this summer. Um, so that I kind of have a little bit of FOMO
You,
when it
you,
comes
you
when it comes
yourself, you
to
yourself, have
Tesla.
a little
Yeah,
FOMO.
yeah,
You write what you wish you had was a little bit of Diet Coke or something.
yeah. That's right.
FOMO is
But
not
I
going
won't leave you all right now.
to.
But I
Um,
will give you my referral code.
you found it. Okay, well, go for it.
Yeah, it's ts.la/Bradford 75 112.
There you go.
So if you're in the market, you can drop my link in there and find a maybe even a Tesla that's has an inventory discount.
Man, there's so many opportunities right now. I mean, it's like I keep thinking, every time they give another deal, I think about my kids and my sisters and my sister and my brother, and I go around my world and think, well, who might actually be in the market right now? Because it's like these deals are, especially in Denver, and my one sister lives in Denver. It's like, are you kidding me? It's like almost free.
And yeah, and do it before like Denver starts like punishing Elon for
Right.
politics.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, any last thoughts?
And the reason I do mention my link is I think it could help me get into Tesla events.
Oh, there you go.
Like the more that are on your account, I think
Sure.
that might help people get into events. Yeah.
Absolutely true. Absolutely true. That's certainly been the case in the past. Any last thoughts for the day? as thanks.
No, I'm just
This will be showing on Thanksgiving Day.
very thankful for this year, for the growth in Rebellion Air, for being able to work with Matt Smith. Matt's a great analyst, but also a really good leader, and he's very good with people. Much more diplomatic than I am, and more well spoken. So, very thankful for that. My family, thankful for all of Elon's leadership, and thankful for your leadership bringing me on here. It was about a year ago, so we started in November
Oh,
of
okay.
last year.
All right. Okay.
You bringing me onto the channel. Must have been after Thanksgiving because I don't remember
Doing a
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving last year. Yeah, yeah. And then from these humble beginnings, you now are a YouTube star in your own right. You have your own channel that has blossomed out of. Larry has his own thing now too.
Mhm.
You come here to begin your next career. It may be that this is like me. It's my primary income now. Who knew? From law to manufacturing to YouTube producer or whatever I am. I'm yeah, whatever this is that I do.
Yeah,
Influencer. Yeah.
thankful for Musk Industries. I'm thankful for like all the great stuff going on in the world of technology, making life interesting and exciting and hopeful
As Elon says.
for the
Yeah.
future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely true. Yes. Every day it seems like there's something that is not just in the world of Elon, but I think he's inspiring others now. Not to say they wouldn't be inspired anyway, but I do think there is something inspirational about what he's doing that's causing other people to go, well, hey, what the heck? I could do that. So, yeah. All right. Well, and to all of you out there, of course, I'm thankful for you for watching the show and for supporting the show in so many different ways. And absolutely go over and check out Rebellionaire's channel as well. And there you go. We have all had our turkey. We have all, hopefully not going to have to get too many Tums.
The
And
tryptophan
that's
putting
right.
us to sleep. Yeah.
All right. So we will say happy Thanksgiving to all of you. And it's been great talking to you.